Sai Ram to you all. I offer my heartful gratitude to Bhagwan Sri Sat Sai Baba and thanks to Sri Sat Sai organization of UK providing us the platform to arrange and bring these webinars to you during the very difficult time of the COVID. We have got 4 excellent participants, 3 speakers, and Sangeeta will be conducting question and answer during this program. These speakers are not only spiritually oriented, but highly academic in their professional area and achieve the highest of the excellence in their clinical practices. But more so, they believe in the holistic approach of healing. So I'll introduce our first speaker, Miss Nuleen Panday. She is MC Optom and also BO Optom. Nuleen is qualified optometrist with over 22 years experience and is currently working as senior resident optometrist at Wilson and Hancock Opticians. She undertakes clinic, which also includes dry eyes, myopia management, visual stress assessment, and colorimetry, and minor eye care services. She is involved in staff training and development and is member of East Sussex Local Optometric Committee. Nuleen is passionate Sathya Sai Education Group and currently the Eastbourne Center President. Previously, Nuleen was Region 6 President and Regional SSE Coordinator and has participated in international medical camps and health awareness days. Our second speaker, Ketan Parmar, is MSCI Optom and MCO Optom. Ketan is a PhD student, the Division of Neuroscience and Experimental Psychology at the University of Manchester. He graduated from Manchester with master's degree in optometry in 2018. Having completed his placement year in 2 of the UK's leading independent practices, whilst also conducting research project. His interest in academia and clinical optometry includes binocular vision, general optometry, and communication and patient care. His PhD is investigating links between autism and vision, focused on the adult autistic population. Alongside this, he practices as locum optometrist and supervises undergraduate clinical sessions. In the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization UK, Ketan enjoys serving as Sri Sathya Sai Center of Bolton President and Region 5 Spiritual Coordinator. More recently, he is one of the UK's members working with the International Young Adults Veda Committee. Sangeeta Singh, our next, she is not a speaker, but she is coordinating the question and answer session. It's a pleasure to introduce her. Sangeeta Singh is BSc Honours in MCO Optom. Sangeeta Singh is qualified in 1999 and has been working at multiple practices. She is accredited in both MECS, that is minor eye condition services, and pre and post cataract aftercare. Sangeeta has done eye camps in India a few years ago and has been involved with optical treatment and the annual Manchester Health Awareness Days for the last 19 years. He was born into a Sai family and attended Bal Vikas as a child. Now, her two sons attended Bal Vikas classes. Sangeeta is involved with the Own a Friend English lesson at the Sathya school in Ahmedabad since last year. And our last speaker is Dr. Amit Chhabra. He is Diploma in National Board, RCS FICO. Dr. Chhabra is an experienced ophthalmologist and currently works as a locum consultant ophthalmologist at the Lancaster Teaching Hospital, NHS Foundation Trust, and as an honorary consultant in pediatric ophthalmology at the Elder Hay Children's Hospital in Liverpool. His key interests are pediatric ophthalmology, adult ocular motility, and cataract surgery. Dr. Chhabra lived in Puttaparthi for 10 years, where he did his ophthalmology training and worked under the famous super specialty hospital. Dr. Chhabra has served as a medical volunteer in medical camps held by the Sathya Sai Seva or Samiti in India, in charge of immunization and eye camps. Currently, Dr. Chhabra assists in weekly feeding service to the homeless population of Southampton in collaboration with the new Feed the Homeless organization of Hampshire. I'm sure you will find this session very, very beneficial. May God bless you all. Stay safe.
For the achievement of the four Purusharthas, the main goals of life, these are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, health is essential. Without good health, a man cannot accomplish even the most trivial thing. Hence, health is wealth. Bhagwan Baba. Sairam everyone. My name is Ketan Parmar, and I am a fully qualified optometrist from Greater Manchester. In this part of the webinar, I will be speaking to you about digital eye strain. This is also called computer vision syndrome, and the American Optometric Association have described it as a group of eye and vision related problems that result from prolonged computer, tablet, e-reader and cell phone use. So basically, digital eye strain is caused by screen use. But is it a growing problem? Well, most, if not all households these days have a digital device. Long gone are the days when it was rare for a household to even have a desktop. The variety of digital devices that everyone has also increased. Not only desktops, but everybody has tablets and laptops, which are held slightly closer for viewing, and also smartphones, which are held even closer for viewing. The age range of users has largely increased too. A recent study conducted in 2016 in the EU and UK found that by 3 years, 68% of children were regular computer users, which is a significant proportion. And we can safely assume that the number of young adults and adults who use digital devices has increased too in the recent years. It's difficult to predict how many individuals suffer digital eye strain symptoms, but according to these factors which we've just looked at, it's safe to say that there is greater risk of digital eye strain amongst us all now, just because of the multitude of screens that we use. The Office of National Statistics regularly publish information about internet use in the UK. Last year, they said that 95% of adults in the UK used the internet, and therefore it's obvious that 95% of adults use at least one digital device. The table given on the screen here shows all the different activities that adults used the internet for. And on the far right of the table, we can see the percentage popularity of those tasks, we can call it. And you can see for the higher rating tasks here in the box, this is increased from 2015 to 2020. These tasks are those which require prolonged computer use, screen use, or concentrated activity. So emailing, finding out information, banking, messaging, social media, and reading the news. So now, what are the typical digital eye strain symptoms? There can be pain between or behind or around the eyes, and this is a dull pain. You can get dull frontal headaches, so these are headaches on the forehead. You can get irritated, itchy, or watery eyes. Migraines can be triggered, and glare can cause discomfort. These symptoms are not caused by the digital device itself, and this has been a common misconception. Many of our parents have probably said to us, don't watch TV too much, or don't be on your phone too much, or don't. Symptoms can be related to vision or your eyes. So it may be that you require glasses for your computer use, which you're not aware of. You may have reduced or altered ability of the eyes to use the natural inherent focusing ability. And you may have reduced ability of the eyes to effectively work together. Blinking can also contribute to the symptoms of digital eye strain. So it's been found that the blink rate dramatically reduces during screen use from around about 15 to 20 blinks per minute in usual conditions down to 5 to 7 blinks per minute when you're using a screen. Your eyes are also wider open, and when you blink, you don't blink completely, so your eyes don't fully close. So all this together just results in your eyes being less well lubricated. And that results in your eyes feeling irritated, itchy, and watery. Now let's look at some ways in which digital eye strain can be avoided or reduced. Firstly, you should take regular breaks from your screen use. A popular rule is the 20-20-20 rule, and that suggests that you should take a break every 20 minutes when you're using a digital device for 20 seconds, and you should try and look at least 20 feet away in the distance. If you are focused on your screen, you don't want to wait until the eyes start straining, rather you want to act preventatively. Next, you should consider the screen setup. So if the print on the screen is quite small, if your screen is quite bright, if the contrast is poor, then your eyes just have to work harder. So to prevent this, you should ensure that your print size on the screen is comfortable for you, so you can zoom in, or you can change the settings on your tablets, on your phones, so that the print is larger. You should reduce the screen brightness and increase the contrast. Thirdly, you should consider your workspace setup as a whole. Now, those of you who use a computer or a screen device regularly as part of your work will be familiar with the diagram which is here on the screen at the moment, which shows the ideal workstation ergonomics. Now, a lot of us have shifted to working from home due to the pandemic, and it might be that these workspace ergonomics have been slightly swayed, and this could be contributing to some of the digital eye strain symptoms that we are experiencing if we are, but also some of the more bodily symptoms that we may be having, like aches, pains. So some of the basic tips that you should follow are, firstly, having your screen around about 60 centimeters away from you, so arm's length. The top of the screen should be eye level, at your eye level, and this will ensure that the screen angle is ideal. You should also look at your body posture and ensure that this is healthy and correct. Let's now look at lighting. So large differences in brightness levels in your field of vision can cause visual discomfort. So giving you a scenario on this, imagine that you're using your computer at night in a dark room. So you've got this really bright object surrounded by a black background. And just processing that huge difference in brightness level can cause discomfort for your eyes. You should also avoid lighting directly overhead or behind the screen, because this can cause glare, which again can cause discomfort. The final and most important tip is that if you are experiencing any of these vision or eye related symptoms, then you should visit your local optometrist. You should tell your optometrist, even at routine examinations, that you use digital devices, because it may be that you need glasses which are particular to using a screen. It may be that you need treatment to improve the ability of your eyes to work together. It could be that your symptoms are associated with something else other than digital eye strain. Those of you who have to use a computer regularly as part of your work may be entitled to a workplace-funded eye examination, and so you should speak to your manager if you're unsure about this. Saram everyone, and thank you for listening.
Come just one step forward, I shall take 100 towards you. Shed one tear, I shall wipe 100 from your eye too quickly. Now dry eye is very common, and approximately 50% of all patients that present with red eyes in practice are usually due to dry eyes. So first of all, what is the function of tears? What do they do? Tears are produced in the lacrimal glands, which are in the outer corners of the eyelids, and they have three functions. Number one, to clean. Every time we blink, they wash away the dirt and debris. Number two, to support. Now the front transparent part of the eye is called the cornea. The cornea is the only tissue in the human body that doesn't contain blood vessels, and so the tears support the cornea by providing the essential nutrients to the eye. And number three, to protect. Tears contain natural antibiotics, so without adequate tears, there is more risk of infection. Now let's look at what tears are made up of. We'll start with the innermost layer, which is the mucus layer, which is the green layer shown on the slide. This coats the surface of the eye and helps bind the tear layer to the eye. The middle layer is the aqueous layer, shown in blue. This contains the various vitamins and minerals that the eye needs. And the outermost layer, which is shown in yellow, is the lipid layer, or the oily layer. This helps prevent the evaporation of the tears. And if the consistency of any of these layers is disrupted, we have dry eyes. I'd like to just zoom in on this outermost layer, the oily layer. We have tiny little glands that line the lid margins called meibomium glands. These secrete the oil. If they become blocked, then not enough oil is produced, and so tears evaporate more easily, resulting in dry, sore eyes. This is known as meibomium gland dysfunction, or MGD. And almost 85% of dry eyes are caused by MGD. Now, it isn't usually a serious condition, but can cause considerable discomfort. This slide shows a picture of a healthy eye on the top, with clear lid margins. The picture underneath is of an eye with blocked meibomium glands. Now, there is a simple method to treat this: hot compresses. So we use boiled, slightly cooled down water, and using a face cloth, bathe your eyes. On and off for about 5-10 minutes every day. This opens up the pores, which leads to more oil secretion, less evaporation of tears, and then a more comfortable eye. Now, there are other methods of treatment depending on the severity of the condition. So, moving on to the symptoms of dry eyes. How do you know you have dry eyes and not anything more serious? One of the symptoms is that the eyes would feel gritty, like having sand in your eyes. Sometimes you have a burning, stinging sensation, and they feel itchy, red, sore, sometimes crusty on waking. You can get intermittent blurry vision. A dry eye can also cause a watery eye. Now, this is because if there are no tears to protect the front surface of the eye, it sends out a signal to produce more, and all of a sudden we have an overproduction of tears, which is called reflex tearing. And a classic example of this is when we go outdoors. It looks like we've been crying. And what are the causes of dry eye then? Who is likely to suffer? Firstly, age. Unfortunately, we will all suffer from some form of dry eye. Tear production tends to reduce as we get older, and usually, sorry aunties, more in women. Then we have health conditions. Certain health conditions can cause dry eyes, such as arthritis, thyroid problems, skin conditions such as eczema or rosacea, and also medications such as blood pressure tablets, antidepressants and antihistamines. Those who have had eye operations such as cataracts or laser corrective surgery may suffer with dry eyes. Contact lens wearers, smokers, environmental factors such as air conditioning and heating, and digital use. As we have just heard from Ketan, we need to take regular breaks and blink a little bit more. Wearing masks can also lead to dry eyes. The hot air we breathe out rises and evaporates the tears more, leading to dry eyes. So what is the treatment and what can we do to solve the problem? The good news is that we can do lots of things to help keep our eyes healthy and stay comfortable. Most people simply need to use some form of eye drops, preservative-free artificial tears. Now these drops are available over the counter and can be used several times a day. They aim to supplement and replace your natural tears. Gels and ointments are also available. These are thicker and stay longer in the eye, but they can sometimes blur your vision, so best used at night time. Hot compresses, eye bags, as we mentioned before, helps to open up the pores on the lid margins and improve the quality of the tears. Changes in lifestyle can help. Avoid smoky, dusty places, direct car heaters away from the face, eat healthily, regular breaks when on computer. There are other forms of treatment, including surgical treatment, but this depends on the severity of the symptoms. So if you think you have dry eye symptoms or any other eye-related problems, you must go and see your local optometrist. There are several simple and painless tests we can do to diagnose if you have dry eyes. And in most cases, we can give advice and monitor the condition, but we can also refer on to a specialist if necessary. Although there is no permanent cure for dry eyes, we have to learn to manage it sufficiently so that it doesn't impact our everyday lives. I will leave you with Swami's picture and answer any questions you have at the end. Sai Ram.
It's advice for optimum eye health. It's important that we have an integrated approach to the health of our eyes. As the Department of Health in 2004 advocated, that prevention is better than cure. We all can appreciate that although the eye is small, it is however quite intricate and complex in structure. So today we have broken this advice into 3 brief subsections: nutrition, UV protection, and mask eye, so that we can carry it out in our everyday lives. Starting with a quote of Swami in nutrition: "As is the food, so is the mind. As is the mind, so are the thoughts. As are the thoughts, so is the conduct. As is the conduct, so is the health." So we have to, apart from food playing an important role spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, eating the right foods can protect our vision and keep us healthy by having suitable safeguards in place. Fruits and vegetables contain a wide range of essential nutrients as well as dietary fibers and antioxidants. So what are antioxidants? Put simply, antioxidants are foods that keep us healthy by delaying or slowing down oxidation, which causes aging and cell death. Research says that food rich in vitamins A, C, E, D, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, and the macular pigments lutein and zeaxanthin are linked to lower risk of certain eye conditions like age-related macular degeneration, early onset cataracts, and even dry eyes. So as we can see listed in the diagram are some food sources of the essential nutrients. As you can see, they are available in a wide variety of sources. Even cereals, dairy products, plant-based products are fortified with these essential nutrients. However, it is difficult and understandable that we cannot consume all of the above daily. So our take-home message today is to eat a rainbow of colors daily. Make sure our plates look as colorful as possible to ensure that we are getting the essential nutrients. The second aspect is UV protection or ultraviolet protection. Our eyes need protection. So most of us remember to protect our skin by applying sunscreen, but we shouldn't forget that our eyes need protection as well. UV exposure is harmful to structures of the eye, and the effect of UV on the eye is cumulative. So although you may feel or not feel any immediate effects, you could be putting yourself at long-term risk or damage. As we can see from this diagram, that UV rays can hurt your eyes. A number of scientific studies indicate that spending long hours in the sun without eye protection can damage our eyes by contributing to cataracts and growths on the eyes, including cancers. So what are important points to consider? So 80% of damage occurs before the age of 18. So we need protection from an early age. We all should and need to spend time outdoors, as healthy exposure to sunlight has many positive effects. But we also have to remember to protect our eyes and skin from prolonged UV exposure. So risk factors are outdoor workers, example postmen, farmers, children, playing outdoors, skiers, surfers, fishermen, etc. UV light is strongest midday to early afternoons, at high altitudes, and when reflected off water like sea, ice, or snow. So not according to the popular misconception is not only in summer or on hot days, but every day. However, in summer, UV exposure or risk is 3 times that of being in winter. Clouds do not block UV rays. It can pass through haze and clouds. So never look directly at the sun without adequate protection. So how can we protect our eyes? Wearing the proper or right sunglasses. So what do we look for? The single most important thing to look for when buying is a sticker or tag indicating that they block 100% of UV rays. They should have a CE marking on the inside of the arms of your sunglasses, which then indicates it has passed regulations. Bigger is better. It provides a better coverage of the eye and surrounding skin. Example, when we use wraparound sunglasses, this helps to cut down the UV light entering from the eyes from the side. Other points to consider. So polarizing lenses help to cut glare coming off reflective surfaces. But it doesn't mean it offers more UV protection, but it can make activities like driving much more comfortable. Sunglasses don't have to cost a lot of money to work well. Less expensive pairs marked as 100% UV blocking can be just as effective. Other ways to protect our eyes on our everyday spectacles, we can have transitions, which are changing tints or having a UV coat. Wearing a broad-brimmed hat or peak cap with your sunglasses. So all of these methods will help to protect the eyes. Our last section is the mask eye. So As we are wearing masks for longer periods of time, there has been an increase in people reporting eye discomfort. Optometrists in the UK refer to this as mask eye, or more technically, mask-associated ocular irritation. So many mask wearers have issues with glasses misting or fogging up when using a face mask. And this presents a health and safety issues. Example for the elderly, when they are outdoors and the mask steam up, they may not see stairs. According to the College of Optometrists, glasses get misty or foggy when warm air flows out of the top of your mask when you breathe out. The warm air then flows over the cooler spectacle lenses, causing condensation to form on the lens surface, resulting in misty vision. The moist air may also cause your glasses to slip around your nose, making them less comfortable. And this, for example, is when we enter into a shop from a colder area, or maybe when it's warmer outdoors, we enter into a shop that has air conditioning. This will cause your glasses or spectacles to steam up. So, how can we minimize eye discomfort? Making sure we wear well-fitted masks. Make sure they sit firmly around the top of your nose so air is directed out of the sides of the mask. Try lubricating drops or sprays, also known as comfort drops or artificial tears, and you can consult your optometrist or pharmacist regarding this. Also try forced blinking, so every 20 minutes to naturally refresh your eyes. To do this simply, blink frequently 3 or 4 times, then shut your eyes tightly for a few seconds. This helps to refresh your eyes. So how to ensure that our mask fits well? Because if they are not fitting well, the air will come up through your eyes or to your glasses and cause them to steam up. So make sure you have a tight face cover or mask by crossing the ear loops. Another method is to try taping the top of your face covering. So you can use a surgical tape. You get one at 2.5 centimeters where you tape the top of your mask, and this prevents the air from rising on top. Some people are quite dexterous, is that they can do it on the inside of the mask so you're unable to see the tape. Another method is to fold a piece of tissue on the inside of the top of your mask, ensuring that when it's tight fitted, the air also would not escape above. You can also put nose wires or craft wires on the inside of your cloth mask so that you can tightly or firmly put it around your nose. Also, there are nose clips available that do the same thing. And if none of these work, you also can use no fog wipes or cloths. They are definitely guaranteed to work when you follow the instructions. So remember, if you're having any difficulty seeing or any other symptoms, please contact or book an appointment with your local optometrist. Remember, healthcare is open and available to all. Everything is a safe and clean environment. There are guidelines and rules in place in all practices to ensure the safety of everyone that enters, staff and public included. And just want to end with a quote of Swami's. All things are beautiful seen through the eyes of love. Jai Sai Ram.
Ophthalmologist, and I'll focus on children. I think the optoms have done a great job for covering a lot of general advice. So my talk is, sorry, this was not a study. It has sleep. The same amount of time is going on screens. This is not a huge sample, but this is the Royal College of Physicians, the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health. Sorry, so that's a well-known authority on this. Now, is it all? No, there are pluses and minuses, as with everything. There are positives. It gives you knowledge. It's an easy source of knowledge. You know, Google Uncle has become a big teacher for kids nowadays. Of course, it is entertaining and enjoyable. A lot of us consume entertainment on screens now. It does provide you with more opportunity. So there is a well-known knowledge gap, a well-known internet gap. So internet gap contributes to knowledge gap. And of course, you can reach a wider negatives. Of course, it interferes with your sleep. I have a couple of slides following on how it interferes with sleep. It hurts your eyes in the way that Ketan shared in the first talk, and it does stress you out mentally. There is a loss of social connection. Now, all this is all again data-based. So we have to now do evidence-based medicine. So the question, and this is a very common question, is looking at screen going to harm my kid's eyes? So the answer in short is no, but in long we will discuss. They have other problems. So it's not just the screens which are hurting eyes, but it's the overall development and overall routine, daily routine, which goes out of the window. So this is again the same RCPCH data, where they asked young people what are their views. So again, 11 to 24, and 88%, that is close to 90%, said that screen time had a negative impact on their sleep. And 1.5 hours was the average time they were spending on screens before sleeping off. And that's a common thing when I see parents in my clinic. They will say, oh, well, he does go to his bedroom at 8, but we don't know when he actually goes to bed. So that's the average time. 41% said that it affected their play. And of course, 35%, now that is serious, 1/3 said it had a negative impact on their mood and on their mental health. So all this is shocking data, shocking to me as well. I mean, I'm happy I was given a chance to speak on this, so I can use that in my practice. And 18% said it had a negative impact on their family time and schoolwork. This is a very crowded slide. If somebody is very keen, they can take a screenshot, but I will just circle the important points for you. So when do kids spend most of their time on the screen? 46% is night time. That's important because then it has an effect on sleep. 14% of kids say they have experienced bullying online. Next thing is these figures. So I think that we have just talked about this in the previous slide. So 88% say it has a negative impact on their sleep. 41% say it has affected their play. How does it affect sleep? So we know sleep has 4 stages. Out of these, the deep sleep is where your hormone system is resetting and some important hormones are being released, and this usually happens early morning or just before you wake up. There is rapid eye movement sleep, which is the dreaming bit, which is also important, especially for kids, because that's where their brain is processing all that or trying to digest all that they have received through the day. And it is a part of learning as well. So children need this, and children have a lot of deep sleep as well, because that gives them the growth hormone. Now, what happens? The smartphone light, by the way, any light, it disrupts melatonin, and that's your sleep hormone. So it breaks the melatonin cycle, and the main problem here is the blue light emanating from smartphones. That is the wavelength which affects melatonin the most, because the back of the eye and the pineal gland which secretes melatonin are connected, and it's the blue light which the eye feels is time to awaken. And you see, nature has built it in such a nice way that in the evening, the sunset will be red, and that's a signal for the eye to start relaxing, and a signal to the body to secrete melatonin and prepare for sleep. So again, a crowded slide. If anybody wants, they can screenshot this. But a long time sleep deprivation will lead to neurotoxin buildup and will disrupt sleep even if you then try to remove the stimulus of the phone. It will make it harder to learn. It will have memory problems. definitely has a link with depression, and of course, obesity and muscle growth and that stuff. Okay, so general advice to get better sleep: no devices 2 hours before bed. Now, again, this is not doctor's advice. This is also documented advice by these large societies of pediatricians who issue guidelines for children. So I haven't put in a lot of Swami's teachings because I feel Swami was validated by all this data, and he has been talking about all these things in many of his talks much before. So no devices 2 hours before. You have apps which can go automatically to dark mode or to reading mode, or you can set your screen to a dark mode. That generally cuts down a lot of brightness. And reading modes are available, which are more yellowish. Cut down on blue light. Some people have removed white. Tube lights are not so great. Yellow light at home is much better than white light because yellow has less blue. When you have to read, if at all, read in good ambient light so that the light is not just shining on your face from your phone or from your tablet. It is generally an ambient light. There are other alternatives. So dinner table conversations can happen if devices are off. If it is possible, music, bhajans after dinner. So all this is aiming for no device after dinner, or listening. So again, audiobooks are alternatives, or just listening to music is an alternative. Bedtime story for little kids is a traditional thing. Bedtime journal. So some people like to recollect their thoughts and write it down. Or even you can read a book. That is better because that is not a source of light in your eyes, and it'll just be reading. Or of course you can meditate, but not a great idea for kids. They will struggle, especially the younger ones. Okay. Yes, so if you wake up in the night to go to the toilet, try to keep the light off or use a red light bulb instead of normal light. Red light has the least effect on melatonin production. So if you want to go back to sleep again, have a red light in your toilet. Okay, so UK Chief Medical Officer advice. So leave phones outside the bedroom. Education, of course, follow the school advice and safety. Family time together. So you can see this is general advice, but how much of this is relevant to screen time? So screen-free meal times, sharing sensibly. I'm not going into too much because that comes into more of pedantic teaching and a moral class. So, but yeah, these are advice which you get at school. And talk to them. Talk to them. A change in behavior can be a sign that they are distressed. So remember, 14% have experienced bullying. Use helpful phone features so you can keep track of children where they are and what they are doing. And of course, there are cyber nannies and all that stuff is there as well. Okay, so this is not just the UK. Australia and USA have similar guidelines. The picture on the left is Australia, and this is a good picture from the US, which says that less than 1.5 years old, 0 hours of screen time. So you don't expose them to any screen at all, other than video chatting that they have allowed because they have to see grandma and grandpa. 1.5 to 2 years old, 0 to 1 hour per day. 2 to 5 years old, keep it less than 1 hour. And 6 plus, you decide with the child. Okay, so that's about screen time. Glasses in childhood. I don't have many slides on this. This is a much more well-known topic. but you have short-sighted myopic, which is matching with the English word of short-sighted or myopic. The reverse, and this happens because of generally because of a longer eyeball, and this is the most common refractive error, and this is what is developing in children. So if their eye growth overshoots normal, then they will be myopic in their eyes. Far-sighted or hyperopic, this is a short eyeball. So the rays focus behind the retina in far-sightedness, in front of the retina in myopia, and astigmatism. So astigmatism is a different, the commonest explanation is that your eyeball is a bit rugby ball shaped rather than a football shaped. These can all be corrected with glasses. We have covered those things in the beginning. So the problem that we are now relevant to screen time and less outdoor time is the march of myopia. So myopia rates have been climbing steadily. We have more and more short-sighted people with minus prescriptions, especially in East Asian countries, countries which have seen rapid industrialization, which means that kids now have much more near work than they were doing before. It could also be genetic. There are some genetic factors, but these two, near work and less outdoor time, are the most important. And screen time is contributing to both of them. What is high myopia? High myopia is the high version of myopia, or more than minor, slowing myopia in their children, or if somebody has a child who started wearing glasses quite young, minus prescription, and they should seek a professional. And there are specific treatments available. I'm not going into detail there, but these things have been proven to be effective. Not to get rid of glasses, I don't have any treatment for that, but to slow down the progression of their prescription. Okay, so that's about glasses. What are the other issues? Squints. So the top picture is the eye straight, the middle picture is the eye turning in, and the bottom picture is the eye turning out. The way you take it, sometimes you may feel, oh, it is turning in, but you need to confirm that by taking a flash photo or shining a light and looking at the reflections. So the reflections are asymmetrical, means there is a squint. It disrupts binocular vision, so anybody who has a squint will not have 3D vision. It can be corrected and should be corrected, especially if it's in childhood. So you need to contact your GP and they will make a quick referral. Okay, other childhood eye problems are amblyopia. Amblyopia means lazy eye, where one eye lags behind the other. And the treatment, the most common treatment for that is patching. Now the causes for lazy eye can be a squint, so the eye which is turning in or out will be ignored by the brain and will go lazy. And the treatment is that you patch the good eye to help the eye which is lagging behind develop. There is a critical period for that, generally agreed to be 8 to 10 years of age. If it is missed, then it's hard to reverse the lazy eye, or it's hard to wake up the lazy eye after that age. We have orthoptists in NHS, and if you contact your GP, if you have concerns, then you will have them looking after you. If children are not happy with patching, some children aren't, because you have patched their good eye, and if the bad eye vision is not good, they'll not be happy. Then there are alternatives for that, which means glasses and different kinds of glasses or atropine drops. Just the last slide about rare but serious problems with red reflex. Now, this is the kind of reflex which you get, or which you don't get now with the smartphone cameras, but you used to get with the older flash cameras. The smartphone cameras now have a red eye suppression. But if you have problems, so this child here, the top photo, the left eye has a normal red reflex, but this is abnormal. So I just wanted to let you know, if you have an abnormal red reflex, then contact your GP urgently. Thank you, and we will move on to the question and answer session.
Okay, the first one, Ketan, this may be a good one for you to start with. Could you please cover the impact on the eyes from constant use of collaboration tools like Zooms, Teams, etc.? How can we protect our eyes in this situation? It's not just eye fatigue, but body fatigue.
Right. So I think the answer is indirectly in the question. It's about the constant use of digital devices. So just as was covered in the presentation, it's important that we take regular breaks from using our digital devices. I know that working from home now means that we're more on our laptops, computers, tablets. But just as mentioned in the webinar presentation, taking regular breaks every 20, 30 minutes away from the screen just allows the eyes to completely relax, because the eyes have to work really hard to focus on the screens, because they're not designed to be looking at something so close for so long. So taking those regular breaks will help reduce the symptoms of eye strain. But again, just to emphasize that it's not the device itself that has any impact, it's the environmental factors around it. About the body fatigue, as was in one of the slides about the workspace ergonomics. So it's important to consider the workspace as a whole and how that can impact you. Saidam.
Great, thank you. The second question, is it advisable to get adaptive lenses if you wear glasses, or is it better to get and wear two separate glasses for effective protection, one for indoors and another pair for outside, to protect eyes from the sun? Nuleen, Ben, I think this might be good for you.
Hi, Ram. Yes, as was covered a little bit during the talk, adaptive lenses are also known as photochromic lenses, and they tend to go darker outdoors and becomes clear when you come indoors. Both sunglasses and photochromic lenses provide 100% UV protection. The choice comes down to what is your lifestyle choices. So if you are someone that spends a lot of time outdoors near water, sunglasses may be the better option because it provides more protection against glare and bright lights. But if you're someone that, just spends more time indoors and then going out there for a short period, the photochromic lens may be better. They have advantages and disadvantages. So the disadvantage of a photochromic lens or adaptive lens is that when you are driving, it may not go dark enough in the car because the windscreen tends to block a lot of the UV protection, which is needed to activate the photochromic tint. Secondly, if you are entering a dim room from a bright environment, it can take up to a few minutes for the lenses to become completely clear. So that may have safety issues for the elderly, or you may have to, if you're driving and you're going entering to a tunnel, it may take a while to clear. So keeping those in mind, you can make choices. And remember, with sunglasses, it needs to follow or adhere to regulations or British standards of 2724. If it's not regulated and you're wearing sunglasses, your pupils are much larger, and if it's not blocking out UV or giving UV protection, you're actually causing more damage to your eyes. So just make sure, keep both in mind. Okay?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Amit Bhai, there's two for you. The first one, there are many eye supplements on the market that one can take to prevent eye disease. It would be good to know what are the key ingredients we should look out for when purchasing.
Yeah, that's it could be a very large answer, but I think generally Nuleen covered the importance of a wholesome, balanced diet. So having a lot of variety of foods. In terms of supplements, the common things which we have a problem in the UK are vitamin D. A lot of us do not get enough sunshine, so vitamin D certainly, especially if you are deficient or you have signs of deficiency. The other thing, if you are a vegan, or if you've given up dairy for a long period of time, or fermented products for a long period of time, also look at B12. Other than that, a wholesome, balanced diet, including all colors, as Nuleen said, and all kinds of areas, macro and micronutrients should be okay.
And the next one, I have dry eyes that keep on itching a lot. also have a cyst growing on the eye tear duct, which keeps on growing. I have twice been to the eye clinic in hospital, and they said if I have it cut, it will grow again. I have used hot towel and squeezed it out, and then the cyst went down. However, it has grown again. Why does this keep on happening?
Yeah, so this is a bit of an individual consultation, but in short, I think, Sangeeta, your slides did cover a bit about the oil glands in our eyelids and their dysfunction leading to blepharitis. So this cyst is a blocked oil gland with oil accumulating, and the treatment would be hot compresses. And yes, they are right. If they cut it out, it will form again because you're not addressing the basic problem there. So hot compresses, some people also say you can take omega-3 supplementation in the form of flaxseed oil to change the quality of the oil secretion.
And how long would you advise to do the hot compresses?
Yeah, so I would seek a consultation again if the person has not been discharged after a time, after 3 months or so of doing warm compresses, and let the doctor see if things have returned to normal.
Okay, thank you. Another question, if you have dry eyes, can that be the beginning of dry macular degeneration? And what steps can one take to prevent its progress? If I answer that, if that's okay. So dry eyes and dry macular degeneration are two different conditions. The first one, dry eyes, affects the front surface of your eye, and dry macular degeneration affects the back of the eye, the retina. And as the name suggests, it is degeneration of the macula. So the macula is the tiny part of the retina responsible for the most detailed vision. So it's a degeneration, it's a wear and tear of the macula. It just gets thinner, and this causes central blurred vision. You may be unable to recognize people's faces, struggle with reading perhaps, need better lighting. Sometimes straight lines appear a little bit distorted, a little bit wavy. And the prevention really is, first of all, manage other health conditions that you have. So diabetes, maybe high blood pressure, cardiovascular diseases. If you smoke, then you need to stop smoking. That causes macular degeneration. Diet is also very important, which we have discussed, and supplements as well, which you have covered. Both are very common conditions, dry eye and dry macular degeneration. But I'm not sure there's any evidence that suggests that patients with dry eyes have an increased risk of getting dry macular degeneration. So yeah, I think if you think you have any of them symptoms, or any other symptoms actually, the main point of all this is to go and see your optometrist and just get their advice, because we can just monitor you, we can review you, and we can refer on if we need to as well. Uncle, do we have any more time for more questions?
One more question, Sangeeta, you may, yes.
One more? Okay. Okay, let's see. I do not like wearing glasses whilst reading, and so I zoom in on documents, etc. to read. Is this okay? Ketan, I think that might be for you.
The way that reading glasses work are that they just provide a bit of magnification. So if you can provide yourself with that magnification in the reverse way by just making what you're looking at bigger, that's completely fine as well. Now, obviously, it's a good idea when you see your optometrist to have this discussion with them, because they may recommend that you do use glasses depending on the type of prescription you have, the strength of prescription, because glasses not only allow you to see clearly, but they impact how well the two eyes work together as well. So there's a few factors, but generally it's not really a problem if you are happy to read without glasses and just making the object bigger or using better lighting. That should be completely fine. Saida.
Fine. Okay, I think that's all we have time for. Sorry if we haven't managed to answer all the questions, but we will respond to the rest by email, and we will get back to you. Yeah. Saidam.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for beautifully conducting the question and answer session. We were inundated with questions. Actually, Gayatri told me that we had almost 19 or 20 questions. The time allocated to us is not enough, but we will try our best to answer these questions. I'm also grateful to Swami, who gives us this opportunity to bring this health and well-being seminars to you. I'm thankful to Sathya UK organization president and National Seva coordinator for their full-hearted support for these webinars. I will be failing in my duty if I do not thank actually Gayatri, who works behind the scene to coordinate these webinars. And you will agree with me that today's speakers were an extraordinary presentation in order to understand the common problems, and we all get worried about our eyes, because the Swami says that prevention is better than cure. They have given you the tips, and you have to look after the eyes, the gift of God, to enjoy the gift of creation which God has created around us. I'm also thankful to Tushar and our media team, who works very hard to bring this presentation together. You heard from Brother Ketan that the COVID has not completely gone. You are only safe till the last man on the planet is safe from the COVID. Please take care of yourself and your family. Follow the national COVID guidelines, number one. Number two, stay safe. Look after your family and friend. May God bless you all. Jai Sai Ram. One more thing, our next webinar is on 1st June, on Tuesday, first Tuesday, and I hope you'll all join us. Thank you very much.